Alright guys, we're here today with a Delsol we've done in the past. New motor in this one that cracked the ringling. I've been fighting some overheating issues with the new setup. Dealing with 105 degree shop temps yesterday and today. Right now I've got a stock radiator fan put back on it. They had an eBay slim fan on it. Not the greatest thing. I put a factory unit back on it with the factory shroud. It seems to be hovering around right at 199, 200 on the dyno in these hot shop temps. I don't think that's horrible. Let's do a base pull on gate pressure. I think I got it close enough, and let's see what that shows power wise to the wheels. See what we got. Temp didn't skyrocket, still good. Did hit 204. Let's see where that recovers itself after a little bit of idling. Let's pull up this data log, see what we made for boost. I'm showing a peak of 11.7. Air fuels did look good during the pool. Let's go see what the dyno's showing. Alright, 234 horsepower, and we should have a torque reading, but let's pull it up. 192 foot-pounds of torque. Not the smoothest dyno graph at all. Very, very, very conservative on the ignition timing right now. Let's change this to engine RPM. Alright, see if we can get this cleaned up. Water temp is bringing itself back down. It's 202 right now before I kill it. Go ahead and make some changes, so I'm going to turn her off. Alright, we're here today with a D16 Z6. We've tuned this one in the past on a Vitar piston and rod combo. That cracked the ringling. We're back with a forged set of Wiseco's and Eagle rods. A little more compression this go around, thankfully. Not really a fan of the Vitar setups. Let's get moving forward. We've already started, got part throttle ironed out, got the low cam in boost ironed out. We got it to where we can start adding ignition timing and boost. So let's roll on with it. Alright guys, right into another pull. We've made some changes. We have not upped the boost, just a little ignition advance. Let's see what it does. Alright guys, you can see we made a little bit more. Didn't do anything but add some ignition advance. We need to clean up our air fuels in this area. Keep on adding some ignition advance, but I think this next go around I'm gonna add some Add about a half a degree of timing and go ahead and turn this boost controller on. Start getting closer to that 350 mark, 400 range where we want to be. 350, 400, the wheel horsepower we're after. Let's go around. Not sure what happened there, guys. That blew the spark out, I guess, is what I'm assuming. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But we made upwards of 15 psi, then it just started breaking up. So I let out. Let's pull those plugs. So yeah, here we are. Appears my help at the shop or part business owner doesn't realize you got to gap plugs on a booster card. Just throw them in there. Leave it to the guy on the dyno. But yeah, I'm gonna gap these plugs and we'll be right back for another pull. Hopefully that resolves this issue. We're gonna gap them to about 28-ish. Alright guys, that was way better, no breakup, but we do have a discrepancy between boost readings on the car and the dyno that I saw. The car, I saw that I made 16 pounds. When the dyno reads, that last pull right there, the green one, 13.5. It read right last time, so I had to figure that out. But let me trim this thing and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so that pull was 284 horsepower, 220 foot-pounds of torque. Still need to clean those air fuels up. We got a ridge spot around 4,800 and by redline. And I don't know what boost is doing here. It doesn't show this on my reading on the laptop, so we'll figure that out. We saw 13.5 psi for peak boost on the dyno. And let's see what it shows on the laptop. Data log. On the dyno, it's kind of a linear power band. It just gradually goes up, and it's hard to see on this because it's this pink graph down here that doesn't really do anything as our boost curve. So 16.1 psi. And it's doing the same thing here, it just gradually rises. Do we have boost crate? Alright guys, I've cleared the old runs and trimmed these so you can make sense of it. The orange run was our last one, the green one was the one prior. All I did was pull a little bit of fuel out in two spots. Didn't get it quite good enough. but as you see, it helped the power. Made 291 and 219. And again, that did show mid 13s for PSI, but again on the laptop I saw 16. We're just going to ignore that for right now. Keep on moving forward. Alright guys, same boost level, and I got that air fuel much closer. Happy enough with that to go up on boost, so that'll be next go around. See if we can make, well, this is really 15 psi at the car. Dyno reached 13, so we'll try to aim to make 19ish at the car, see what happens. So far so good. That power number was 288, 217 for torque. So data log, .9 psi or 20. There's 20 right there. Alright guys, here's our last two runs. The blue one is of course the most recent. The red one is prior. Dyno shows 15 psi on that pull, but of course we just always saw 19 to 20 psi in the car or at the car, so something's going on with my boost sensor. We're just going to ignore that. Damn Dyno jet. But yeah, we're going to see if we can. Don't really want to go too much more boost, maybe around the 23 mark at the most. So I don't think we're going to hit 400 horsepower here. It's just going to be mid 300s, and we're going to have to deal with that. It is hot today, so just trying to keep things safe. Alright guys, figured the boost thing out. I moved the boost line. Show that in a second, but power at that time was 324 to the wheels and 250 for torque. And that was on 22 psi, which I saw on the laptop. I'll show you what I did there. I don't really know how to explain it, except for show you. Here's where I was tapped in with my boot. This is the boot source for my dyno. See, it's going over to the wall. So here's where it is now. It's tied into the same source as the blow-off valve and the fuel pressure regulator. And our boost solenoid is right here. I had it tapped into that vacuum line. You can see where I put this coupler back in, but that's where it was. Comes right off the back of the plenum right there. So now the dyno and the car match. So I'm going there. I don't know why, but I'll just take it as that and roll with it. But yeah, we're not going to target much more boost here. Not in this heat on pump gas. Really recommend E85 to go much farther, but we might go 1 or 2 more pounds if I can get that out of the controller, and we'll be done here. All right, we are back. Let's give this thing a little more boost. Well, I better go back and change the boost cut because we're getting very close to it. That was it. I'm gonna have to pull the plugs, but I added 2 degrees of timing and it cleaned that graph way up. And we did make 2 more PSI. So 24 PSI, that's our yellow curve right here on the boost graph, and here's our power band. See how it cleaned up those ziggity zags with that extra timing in there, but we made 347 horsepower, 271 foot-pounds of torque. I believe I'm gonna call it good right there. Go to lunch, let the car cool while I'm going to lunch, and come back and do a pool with everything cold. But if everything's fine there, we're just gonna move forward with setting up boost by gear and going over part throttle and tip in and finish this thing up. But not gonna add any more to making power. It might make more power because it cools off. That'll be the only reason. See you after lunch. Well guys, it cooled off while I was going to lunch. That was a pool while the water temps were like 175. and the IETs were 102 degrees. It ain't gonna get no colder than that today. But power numbers were the Red Pool 350 for power to the wheels and 279 for torque. Says we touched 25 psi that time. That's why we got that zigzaggy graph there. I'm not going to go back and touch that up or add any timing, but earlier when I added that 2 degrees of timing to smoothen the graph out, that was at 23, 24 degrees. I didn't touch 25 degrees. It's got basically no timing up there. The car didn't have no hiccup from it, so I'm going to leave it like that. Probably going to actually lower boost just a tick for the road, because with more load I think it'll still make it. We're going to leave this one right here for power level, so that's where she remains. She didn't do too bad, done great actually, once I got all the bugs worked out. I got to go over part throttle, boost by gear, and a little bit of cold start. That's stuff you won't see on camera. Catch me next time on the next video. Appreciate you guys watching. See you next time.